For the kids.
You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Okay.
I start sweating. I'm already sweating.
Good. I think you're the first guest ever to sweat before I even introduced them, so that's wonderful. Hi, my name is David Voorhees. I'm the host of Running Hot. Today I've got a very special guest. It's not often that I get to interview another founder CEO, somebody that started their business around the same time we started ours. BJ Kissel, KC Sports Network. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I really don't want you to evaluate our setup. I feel pretty good about it. But no, really, very happy to have you in the studio today. You know it. You're sweating already. 6 sauces of varying heat. I'll read them out as we go to make you feel a little bit more and more nervous. So you're going to grab that first one.
Yep.
You'll give yourself a little dab. The idea here isn't to hurt somebody. So just put a little dab on the wing or on the plate. Scoop it on there, and then that's plenty. See, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
This is one of my favorite sauces because of the flavor profile. We go a little hot from the beginning.
Okay.
I'll get it back from you. But anyway, so I'll let you get into it.
All right.
Solid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing okay.
It's a sweet heat. Yeah, you're not ready to quit yet.
No. We're not there.
So let's start. Before KC Sports Network,
Yeah.
you got into sports writing out of love for a sport and getting to talk about that.
Yeah.
Maybe tell everybody a little bit about your early career where you were basically working for free.
Yeah, it was back, I think it was 2008, 2009. I'd moved out to Riverside, California. I had a sales job. It was my territory, so I didn't have an office that I went into. I didn't have people that I interacted with every day. And grew up a diehard Chiefs fan. Grew up in Stillwell, just outside of Kansas City. It's now considered Overland Park. But grew up out there, diehard Chiefs fan. Had season tickets with my dad. Going to the games was our thing. Sat in section 338, row 10, seats 10 and 11. Growing up, we always took the same route, stopped at the same place. Very much the generational fandom that a lot of Chiefs fans have. But yeah, I grew up loving the Chiefs. Got my degree in electronic journalism when I was in school. And when I had moved out to California, diehard Chiefs fan, don't have anyone to talk to, I want to interact with other Chiefs fans. I found a blog through a company called SB Nation. The site's called Arrowhead Pride, still a very popular Chiefs blog, but found it as a way just to interact with other Chiefs fans and just kind of like share thoughts on the team. And for a long time, I joined the site and I just commented. I didn't write posts or anything like that. And then one day I just decided, like, hey, I'm going to start sharing my thoughts. And the editor of the site, Joel Thorman, who's become now a good friend of mine, 15, 20 years later, reached out and said, hey, you're a good writer. I was like, thanks. I went to college for this. That's awesome. He said, how would you like to be more, a more consistent contributor for us? And so started that, and then one thing led to another. They started a YouTube channel. They had a podcast back then that they started, and just kind of grew organically with other fans. Not trying to break down film, be an insider, pretend to know football. It was just like a bunch of Chiefs fans talking about a team that we loved, and it just kind of grew from there.
Nice.
I had told Joel, like, hey, I'd like to move up in media or try to, see where I could take this, because at the time I think I'd been there 3 years. And I was working about 40 hours a week, making about $350 a month, so not real sustainable. But asking him, like, hey, how do I move up? And he said, let me put you in contact with Field. He might be able to give you some advice. And I was walking around Torrey Pine State Park. I was hiking there, talking to Field on the phone for about an hour and a half. And he gave me some advice that I took wholeheartedly. He said, if you want to move up, you got to get in front of athletes. You can't just be a blogger with an opinion. You got to separate yourself, tell stories, get in front of athletes. And the easiest way to do that is go to the Senior Bowl. It's an NFL draft event. They'll credential anyone that wants, because they want as much promotion around their event as possible. And he said, go down there and meet athletes. And so my wife and I were living in San Diego. We decided to move back to Kansas City around the same time as well. And because she's from Manhattan, not too far. And we decided that I was going to go down to the Senior Bowl after we had moved from San Diego back to Kansas City. And I said, we've got a few $1,000s left in savings. Let me use most of that to pay to go down to the Senior Bowl. And if nothing comes from this, if I don't network, if I don't find a job, I'll give up media and we won't do this anymore. I'll do something else. And I went down there and met Matt Miller, who at the time was at Bleacher Report, who has also since become a good friend of mine. He is the ESPN NFL draft guy. But at the time, again, he was at Bleacher Report, and he's the one who put in a word for me at Bleacher Report. From going down there and just networking and meeting him, got a job at Bleacher Report. Then it was a year later that I got a DM on Twitter from one of the producers at the Chiefs that worked in 65 TPT that said, the Chiefs reporter job's about to open. You should apply for it. We've all been reading you for a long time, and we think you'd be a good fit for this. We need somebody that knows how to write, can do podcast and video, and knows the history of the Chiefs and can represent the organization. And so reached out, did about a month worth of interviews. I think I went back 4 times for multiple interviews, and then ultimately got that job.
Wow. How cool is that, though? I mean, looking back on it, I'm sure it was a lot more stressful to say, hey, we got a little bit of savings and I want to use all of it. And if I'm bad at this, then we're going to lose our savings and I won't have a job. But I'm going to do something else.
It's crazy looking back because of how it worked out, that it didn't feel like such a gamble at the time because we had put so much time into it. I mean, I was writing 2 or 3 stories a week. I was doing a podcast, a couple videos. And it wasn't to try and grow and to necessarily make it this full-time thing. I just really enjoyed it. Everybody's got 4 or 5 moments or decisions, conversations you've had with people that led you to where you are.
Yeah, spot on.
And it's worked out so far, but yeah, I feel very indebted to a handful of people that very much know that they gave me an opportunity before I felt like I probably earned it, at least in my eyes, and I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for them.
Awesome. All right, let's get into sauce and question 2.
Okay.
So you said something pretty important, and a lot of people, especially in your place, who former college baseball player, somebody that's competed at a level that a lot of people don't get to, somebody that now has founded and is running a successful company. You don't often hear, I asked somebody for their advice. Like I listened to 3 to 4 people that I'm indebted to now. I was walking through a park and I was on the phone for an hour and a half with somebody that I now trust. So maybe talk a little bit about how important it is to be a good listener and try to find out ways to decide on something that's very important to your family, or maybe make a decision. Like, why is it so important for somebody to ask advice and listen?
In starting KC Sports Network, the one thing that in building it that I've learned is that got to be honest and transparent with people, and I've realized I've gotten a lot further by talking against my own self-interest a lot of times if it's what I honestly feel. I was always scared too because I feel like sales, you got to kind of put this face on and be like, hey, we can help everybody and we can do this and we can do that. And there's so much more strength in just being like, here's who we are, here's what we've learned. I'm not sure if we can do this. Here's why I don't think this will work. Here's why it might. And then just having that very open conversation, you realize that people are drawn to that a lot more than those who aren't. And those who aren't generally are the kind that are hiding something.
Right.
They've got another agenda. And I've realized I don't necessarily mesh as well with that personality, but I think anybody who's ever met me will know, where you stand with me. I'm not afraid to say what I think and to share my feelings.
In our industry, inside of health insurance, a lot of salespeople are afraid to be that open and transparent because they're not sure how the business owner is going to interpret it. Because you're there as a solution provider, and anything that they ask that you can do, you need to say you can do it. But you're so right about the idea of there's more power because business owners don't understand bullshit. So if you say you can do it, like, well, listen, I've been doing this for 30 years and not a single person's been able to do it, so you're probably not going to be able to do it either. But I like the idea of saying, hey, here's where I think it might not work. Here's where I think it could work. And if you're willing to go through that journey, then we'll know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into question 3.
Okay.
This will be the last time that you have to bring the sauces. Then we get to mine.
Okay.
Which, ironically, are the spicier ones, and I get to watch other people deal with it.
Just for mental, say, what is the highest one that we're going to do today?
330,000.
Okay.
Now, before you panic, we did on the show once because someone wanted to be funny, brought 1.5 million Scoville in, and that's Pepper X. It's the hottest pepper. So you're not getting into anything.
The good news is
crazy.
I'm trapped by lights and cameras, so even if I tried to panic and run out of here,
You might hurt yourself more than if you just actually did the way
out of here.
Get the vinegar, a little bit of heat.
Yep.
All right, so you played baseball at K-State.
Yep.
You started from a unpaid, not even an intern, just an unpaid freelancer.
Yeah.
To writing for the Kansas City Chiefs and then founding a business, your husband, your father. Have there been any moments through this journey where you've been like, what am I doing? Like, have you ever just sat there and gone, what am I doing? And how did you get yourself past that moment where it just rocks you for a little bit, where you're like, what am I doing? How am I going to do it?
Yeah.
And here are all these variables that are really important to me.
Yeah.
Like, walk through that.
When people get into this, you want to be the person, and I just wanted to have my role and be very good at my very specific role, whether it was being a relief pitcher on a college baseball team as a freshman, or whether it was being a sophomore punter on a high school football team, or whatever it was. I wanted to be a part of it in a very real way, but I did not care about who got credit or who is the face of all of it, because it had never been part of it. The entire time I worked at the Chiefs, I had imposter syndrome every day I walked into that building, because I wasn't a football guy, I wasn't good at football, was a fan blogger that just happened to create this little niche for himself that the timing worked out really well for me when I got that job, and proud of the work that I did when I was there. But I had only worked for small companies the entire time, and so you go work for a major, well-run corporation, it's just different.
Yeah, for sure.
It's small companies. If there's a problem, don't come to me with a problem. Come to me with a solution and tell me what happened. And a corporation, it's like, we have people for that. Like, kind of stay in your lane a little bit, but yeah, it's been a crazy ride. I wouldn't change it for anything.
This will start to get a little warm. I don't think this gets hot, but this is going to be getting our palate ready. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
So. You talked a lot about, actually maybe not a lot, but it was interesting because I've been thinking about it since you said it after question 2. But you were saying that it's almost like people are designed not to connect anymore. You said we were a lot more common than we're not common.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you said similar. But with all the medium to talk to people, with all the medium to intertwine other human beings, what do you think is pulling us apart from being able to just have regular discussion again about, and make it about sports, because that's your home. Why are we so excited to talk about what isn't right versus like, here's the cool stuff that's working?
I'm going to go on a soapbox here, like old
Go
man
for it.
shouts at cloud. I think it's cell phones and algorithms.
Okay.
People get fed the things that they either want to hear or that they don't want to hear. Whatever that way is, the algorithm feeds you different things. And it's funny, my wife and I talk about it all the time, like our algorithms are completely different with the videos that I get sent and the videos that she's getting sent and what we're consuming. And I just think everybody's on their phones so much. I mean, you're talking about the average time spent on your phone.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get on any social media platform, they're based on an algorithm. They're based on what you're sending, and it will keep sending you things. Some which you have control of and some you don't. And I think living in the digital media space, not to say it's all bad and all wrong, I think understanding how it works and how it's going to continue to feed you things. I wish that people's opinions would more be based on having conversations with people they disagree with, as opposed to watching videos that are designed to create engagement and rile you up.
Yeah.
Digital media companies and whoever's creating content that you're consuming, it's designed to get you to click, whether it's a comment or some sort of engagement, and it's how they're getting paid. They get paid based on engagement, so the content is designed to get you to engage, which means it's not necessarily going to be always, I'm going to say 100% truthful, or however you slanted, however you want to do that. I don't want to pick sides in all of it, but understanding how it works. I think people would be better served to put it down and have a conversation.
So this is where it gets real. And I'm going to tell you with science, we originally didn't go this hot on number 5. We're going to 135,000 Scoville. That's where we're going now.
Yeah.
But we realized this step is going to help that step. We had been lower in 5, and the step to 5 to 6 was pretty rough. So this is going to ascend. You know, you're in a commercial airliner, right? They're going to take you up. That's what we're doing the same thing with you. This is Da Bomb. It's beyond insanity. It's a very good sauce. You'll notice that it's dark.
Burned a hole in the plate.
I won't do that yet. Maybe, I don't know. And this one, be ginger with it. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Takes a little bit of time to hit.
Oh. For the kids.
A little bit.
Ooh.
I can already tell that that's going to be a short. Always. I can always tell when one of them's going to be a short. We've talked a little bit about how you've gotten here. We know that you've played baseball. We know that you're a family man. You have a business. How have you been able to juggle all of those things while scaling a business, knowing that I thought is really impactful? You said when you worked at the Chiefs, you felt guilty in both places.
Yeah.
I was not being where I needed to be, but I was in the right place, and then vice versa. So how have you been able to manage all of those things while building and scaling a business? Because that is a monster in itself.
Yeah, as far as like how to, mentally stay, like, this work-life balance idea, I'm not sure if it exists. People have talked about that before. For me, it was figuring out what my why was, which was spending quality time and being present with my family. My whole motto the last year I was working at the Chiefs was be where your feet are. I wrote it on my hand. I wrote it the initials for it all the time because I felt guilty wherever I was. If I was at work, I needed to be at work and be present with the people that I was with in that moment, and not thinking about what's going on at home. And is Carter taking his steps? Like what was happening when I was missing? And then when I was at home, I needed to be there and not be thinking about work and all of my teammates that were getting stuff done. And so with KCSN, it's been a lot more challenging because so much of my life, professionally, at the end of the day, I could point to something that I produced. Like I said, I wrote this article, I have this video, I did this podcast, and with building a company, you may just make 3 decisions in a day that are huge decisions, but it's not like a tangible thing that you can point to.
Right.
And so that's been difficult for me more than anything, is on days that I'm not super busy, of not being like, man, I need to do something. I need to go produce. I need to go do something right now. And everybody around me is like, that's building a successful business.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it can run without you having to. Can't work on the business if you're in the business.
You've made it to 6. Charity of your choice. I'm sure you already have it picked.
Yep.
Tell us about the charity.
Our KCSN Foundation works with a number of charities. We work with the Boys and Girls Club. We work with Operation Breakthrough. We work with Hope Faith, the homeless shelter downtown. One of the organizations that we've worked with in the past, that the campaign that we're not doing right now, but if I ever won the lottery, and I told them this, I would give all my monies to Braden's Hope. I'm not sure anybody with kids that understands what Braden's Hope does in supporting and coming up, raising money for grants for childhood cancer research, and how underfunded it is compared to other forms of cancer. They're special people who do special work, and I just wish I had a bigger platform and be able to raise more money and do more things for them. So, be for Braden's Hope.
All right. Well, we're here.
For the kids.
Questions. It's stuck to the table. So it didn't burn through. So this is called Death Nectar.
Oh.
It's from Grinders, local, right? 335,000 Scoville. So I would tell you, again, you don't need to be a glutton for punishment. Just
I'm not trying to be a hero right now. I'm just happy to be here. Happy to make it this far.
yeah, you've done good. You've
Thanks.
done good.
That last one really changed things.
You ready for question
No.
6?
You can ask me before we eat or after?
No, after. We're gonna let this land. It's a different strategy. Just get a little bit and then eat the rest of the wing.
Yeah. They're going to be bringing more meat into that one. This one's slower. one's going slower than the last one did, but I can feel it.
Yeah. Trust me when I say you should be thankful for the sauce before it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you say.
No, I can it's slowly getting. Is that why you're waiting to ask the question?
Yeah.
You knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You jerk.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah. There was a record that you could beat. What would it be? Or set. Beat or set. Maybe there's something that they don't know.
Probably longest time of playing catch without dropping a ball.
Okay.
I could play catch for hours and hours and hours and be perfectly happy.
Your son play catch with you?
Yeah, we play catch a lot. So
Yeah.
he's baseball. He's taken too.
Did you get past that part where they wanted to do everything they saw on TV before they could just do the basic stuff? Did you go through that?
With McKenna a little bit. She's a little less patient and just kind of does stuff and then quits and wants to do stuff and then she's bored 30 seconds later. Carter's a little more methodical, wants to understand how things work. He really wants to know the details of how his body moves, when he's swinging a baseball bat,
right.
when he's pitching. He's really into if I do this and it affects this and the cause and effect with how your body works together.
Grayson is pretty good at what he does. Like anybody who's an athlete, you pick up something, you look like you could actually play it. Mm-hmm. We were playing football on a trip, and of course, he wanted to throw the ball so I fall into the bushes or do something. Mm-hmm. I want to just throw the ball. And I said, we got to catch it 100 times before I'll do anything else. And it was interesting because we did it, and he had never been happier to just do it 100 times. I'm going, do you see it? Just the basic stuff was really, really fun. Not the stuff that Patrick gets to do because Patrick's a special human being, right?
Yeah. I told Carter you got to fall in love with the process of getting better.
That's a good one.
And if you love the process of getting better, you'll get better at anything.
For sure. For sure. Do you know any funny dad jokes?
Dad jokes?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing I can share.
Okay. You have other dad jokes?
No, I can't right now.
All right, last question. What is one thing that people are genuinely excited to learn about you that they don't know? Or maybe surprised to learn about you?
I think the baseball football thing surprised a lot of people that don't know me super well. Because there's a lot of people that just recognize me as the Chiefs guy.
Right.
And that they're really surprised to find out that I'm doing baseball. And I think it's probably really surprising for people that I grew up with to be like, why is he talking about football? How did BJ become the Chiefs guy? It was luck and being good to people. Going back, there was a lot there about getting the Chiefs job and networking, and they were doing background checks, and just all the people that they called to check in on me, people I hadn't talked to or even worked for in a decade, were being asked about me just to make sure that they knew who was going to represent their organization. So I think just being good to people. I don't even remember where I was going with that. I'm so hot and sweaty.
That's good.
My mouth's on fire.
Well, as a fan, as somebody that got to watch you be on the field the first time, and I saw you on TV, and I was like, I know that guy. It's been awesome to watch you be successful. I appreciate you coming on the show, go through, putting your body through this.
Yeah.
But now this has been great. So BJ Kissel, Kansas City Sports Network, thank you very much. You made it. 6 sauces. David Voorhees, host of Running Hot, the business insurance podcast. Look forward to seeing you next time.